Development Studies, Faculties of Economics and Administration. What happened? Okay. He has published more than 35 scientific papers in international research journals. His research interests are development economics, environment, sustainable development, environmental impact assessment, ecotourism, development, climate change, adaptation, mitigation of community development, and other things related to the environment and development. He has received several awards such as Academic Excellence Award in 2014 and Excellence Award 2015, Bangladesh Students' Night Award 2016 from University of Malaya. Okay, the time is yours, Dr. Mehedi, please. Today we'll be finished until 1 p.m. Okay, so for the participant, if you have questions during the speakers convey the lectures, you can ask in the chat box. Otherwise, you have to wait to speakers if you want to ask directly. Okay, please, Dr. Mehedi, the time is yours.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
So I think I don't have to introduce myself. You already know me. So allow me to share the screen first.
Instructor, it's allowed already.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, assalamu alaikum and good morning to all of you. Hope everybody is fine and safe. So let's get started our workshop. So before commencing our workshop, let me motivate you by saying the statement of Richard Stallman. Sharing knowledge is the most fundamental act of friendship because it is a way you can give something without losing something. So today we are here to share our knowledge. We learn from each other without losing anything. So hope you will enjoy this session. So today we are going to talk about a SMART PLS, a hands-on approach. So why a SMART PLS? So as we know that we have two types of structural equation modeling. One is covariance-based structural equation modeling. Another one is variance-based SEM or structural equation modeling. So a SMART PLS is a variance-based SEM. So using this SMART PLS, you can develop formative as well as reflective model. But if you use covariance-based SEM, you can develop only reflective model. Then for a SMART PLS, we don't bother too much about model fit indices, but if you do covariance-based SEM, then you have to be concerned about model fit indices or matrices. For example, you have to look at RMC, you have to look for chi-square, you have to look for CFI, TLI, NFI, and many more. But for a SMART PLS, the main purpose of a SMART PLS is not to see the model fit or goodness. Okay, but you can see looking at what's called the SRMR, the standardized root square residual, as well as you can see RMS, root mean square residual covariance. Then the SMART PLS is suitable for exploratory research, okay, and covariance-based structural equation modeling is suitable for explanatory research. That means if you want to test a structural theory, if you want to confirm a specific theory, if you want to compare a theory with alternative theories, then you can use covariance-based structural equation modeling. But if you want to do exploratory research, that means the extension of a structural theory, okay, then the SMART PLS is the best one. The next thing is, a SMART PLS is appropriate for a small as well as large sample size. Then data do not to be normally distributed for a SMART PLS. Another good thing is you can have moderated variable as a continuous variable or categorical variable. Both are accepted for a SMART PLS. Then last but not least, it is of course user-friendly and it has colorful graphical presentation. So that's why I prefer a SMART PLS instead of using covariance-based structural equation modeling. Okay. Now let me ask you, why are we here? Any volunteer? I need your response. Please make it interactive session. Eh? So why are we here?
So, to study about PLS.
Okay, so we want to know a SMART PLS. Why you want to know? Because we want to publish journal articles using a SMART PLS. Okay, so let's look at the structure of the analysis. Okay, so basically, if you use a SMART PLS, then in your research paper, you should follow this structure of analysis. That means you need to include all these components in your research paper. Remember one thing, I'm not talking about abstract writing. I'm not talking about how to write introduction. I'm not talking about how to review literature. I'm not talking about methodology. Okay, I'm talking only the results section. If you want to analyze your data using a SMART PLS, okay? So you need to follow this structure, okay? So let me share the structure. The section 1, in your research paper, you don't have to write the section 1, section 2, section 3. It's for your understanding, I have divided into 3 parts, okay? So section 1 or part 1, you have to do the measurement model, okay? Measurement model, it can be reflective measurement model, it can be formative measurement model. So this section, we will calculate convergent validity based on indicator loadings and AVE, average variance extraction. Then we look into internal consistency of the indicators or of the construct based on composite reliability value and Cronbach alpha value. Then we look discriminant validity, looking at the value of cross loadings, HTMT criterion, Fornell and Laker criterion, as well as we can look at confidence interval. So this is the first part of this analysis. So you have to remember that if you want to write a research paper using a SMART PLS, the first section of your result should contain these components, okay? Then the second section, the second part, we used to call assessment of a structural model, okay? So in order to develop or test your hypothesis, the first things you need to do is check VIF, variance inflator factor, okay, of your construct. Then you will look at the first coefficient, standard error, T statistic, to see the relationship among the variables. Then, of course, you need to look at the R square, then F square, and Q square. So these are the components you should contain, you should include in second part, okay? The second section. Then the third section, okay? You can add one mediation effect if your proposed research model have mediating factor, then you can analyze the mediation effect. If you have moderating variable, then you can see moderation effect. If you have the multi-group analysis, then you can do multi-group analysis, okay? So these are the basic structure of the analysis. Now, let me give you an example, okay? Let's say you have a patient, okay? You have a patient who requires operation, okay? So before sending him to the operation theater, what you need to do? Let's say you are a doctor. So what you should do? You need to do diagnosis test. You need to do anesthesia test. You need to check his pulse. You need to check his sugar level, and so on. So this is considered as a diagnosis test. So for a SMART PLS, the first section, the measurement model, is considered as a diagnosis test of the model, okay? So conversion validity, internal consistency, discriminant validity, this is considered as a diagnosis test, okay? Whether your patient is fit to go operation theater or not, okay? You have to check at the first stage. Then if you think that your patient is okay, he doesn't have any complication, then you can send him to the operation theater. That is to test the second part, okay? Second section. That is your second section, that your patient is suitable for operation. So you send him to the operation theater. Now you will do the operation. So we can have two types of operation. Let's say one is minor operation. Another one can be the major operation, critical operation, okay? So the second stage is the minor operation, okay? You want to test your hypothesis. You want to see the relationship among the variable. So the second stage consider is a minor operation, okay? So you need to see the VIF, path coefficient, TS, and R square, F square, Q square. Then third stage, if you want to, let's say this is considered as a major operation, okay? The critical. So you can add one, the mediation effect or moderation effect or multi-group analysis, okay? So this way you can remember, this is an example, okay? So this is the basic structure of the analysis. So do you have any question up to this point? Is it clear to you?
Yes, doctor. If you have any questions, you can ask directly.
Yeah, sure.
I think no.
Okay, so I hope it is clear to you. So if you are not clear, please ask me question. Feel free to ask question, okay? Okay, then let me give you in details, okay? Section 1, is measurement model. It can be reflective measurement model. It can be formative reflective model, or it can be mixed, considering both reflective and formative model. Okay. So let me give you an example. Okay. My left hand side is formative and right hand side is reflective. Okay. So we always confuse about formative and reflective model. Okay. So just I will give you two words to remember. One is from. Okay, from. One dimension. Okay, from based on some indicators. Let's say the store image is a dimension. Okay, so it is from based on three indicators: car parking, facilities, glamour. So these three indicators from this dimension. Okay, so this is formative. And another way to remember formative, the arrows go to right hand side. Okay, arrows go to right hand side. Okay, so this is the two way you remember the word from, the indicators from a dimension, that is formative, and arrows go to right hand side. And reflective, see the dimension store image reflects. Okay, reflect, you remember the word reflect, reflects several indicators. Okay, so this is one way. Another way, the arrows go to left hand side. Okay, so this is the basic keyword to remember to differentiate between reflective versus formative. Okay, so we can give you some example of 4 types of reflective and reflective. Okay, so if you look at this diagram, this is second order model. Okay, so the first order is reflective, as well as second order also reflective. Okay, so that's why it is called type 1, reflective, reflective. Let me give you another example. Reflective, formative, the mixed model. Okay, the first order is reflective, second order is formative. Okay, then formative, formative. Okay, first order is formative, second order also formative. Okay, then fourth type, formative, reflective. Okay, the first order is formative and the second order is reflective. Okay, so these 4 type of reflective, 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 formative, formative, what is called formative, reflective. Okay, okay, so let me share the evaluation criteria of reflective measurement model. Today we are going to highlight reflective measurement model because I want to show and to share a data set which is considered a reflective model. Okay, so in order to see evaluate reflective model, measurement model, we need to look at convergent validity. So as I mentioned, okay, earlier, okay, so convergent validity. So how we look at it? We look at the indicators loadings. Okay, each indicator loadings. So the rule of thumb is loadings should be or must be greater than or equal 0.70. Any question from the audience?
Any questions?
If no question, I will request to unmute. Okay. Then we will look at average variance extracted value. Okay, so the rule of thumb is the value must be greater than or equal 0.50 according to Hare and others. So this is the convergent validity we can look at based on indicator loadings and average variance extraction. Okay, and the cutoff value or threshold value is according to Hare 0.70 for indicator loadings and 0.50 for AVE. Okay, then we can look at internal consistency. Okay, So internal consistency based on composite reliability as well as Cronberg alpha value is not given here, Cronberg alpha value, but you can calculate both. Okay. So composite reliability value must be greater than or equal 0.70. Okay. Then discriminant validity. So we calculate discriminant validity, or we check discriminant validity based on basically 3 criterion. Okay, the Fornell and Laker criterion. So what is Fornell and Laker criterion? It is a square root of ABE. Okay, so it will be in the diagonal, and it should be larger than the correlations. That means off diagonal. I will show you. Then cross loading. Okay, so all indicators load high on its own construct but low on the other construct. Then HTMT criterion. Okay, so according to this criterion, the threshold value must be less than or equal 0.90 according to Gold and others, and according to Kalam, it should be equal or less than 0.85. Okay, and also we can look at the confidence interval. So make sure that confidence interval does not show a value of 1 according to Hensler and others. Okay, so this is the evaluation criteria. Okay, so this is the first part. We have completed the first part. Okay, then again second part, as we mentioned. Okay, so assessment of a structural model. Okay, so first we need to check variance inflator factors. For what? To see the multicollinearity. Okay, to see the multicollinearity. Okay, so if BIF value is less than 5 according to here, or less than 3.3 according to Diamantopoulos, okay, Paulos and Sigao, okay, 2006. Okay, so this is the rule of thumb or threshold value for BIF. So if you want to test your hypothesis model, first you need to look into BIF value. Okay, it should be below 5, 3.3 or 5. Okay, then you need to look at the relationship and significance level, whether your hypothesis is accepted or fail to reject. Okay, null hypothesis. So how you are going to look at it? Based on your path coefficient, you look at your standard error, and most importantly, you look at the T statistics. Okay, so based on the T statistics, okay, so you can see the rule of thumb. Okay, T value should be greater than 2.58, or is there is general rules. If it is above 2, you can say there is a significant relationship. Okay, okay, then let's look at the R square. Okay, you have to look at the R square. What is the R square? Is the coefficient of determination which denotes how much of the variance in the endogenous latent construct is explained by exogenous latent construct. Okay, so basically R square explain the variance in the endogenous variables explained by the exogenous variables. This is the simple way. Okay, simply it means how much change in the dependent variable can be accounted by one or more dependent variables. Okay, this is the simply we can say. Okay, so there are I think 3 or 4 rule of thumb, but I pick up only here. So according to here, so if your R square is 0.25, that means is weak. If you find your R square is 0.50, it is considered moderate. If it is 0.75, okay, above, it is considered substantial, okay? So substantial change, okay? So that means, as I mentioned, that change in the dependent variable can be accounted by one or more independent variable, okay? Then we can look at we have to look for effect size, which is known as F square, okay? So what is F square? A variable in a structural model may be affected or influenced by a number of different variables, okay? So a variable in a structural model may be affected or influenced by a number of different variables, okay? So removing on an exogenous variable can affect the dependent variable. So we could say that if a square is the change in R square, okay? So when an exogenous variable is removed from the model, so we can see the change, okay? So according to Cohen, okay, F square is as if you have F square is 0.02, that means a small effect. If you have 0.15, it is considered medium effect. If you have 0.35 and above, it is considered as a large effect, okay? Then one more thing, we need to see the predictive relevance, which is known as Q square, okay? So what is Q square? Q square is a criterion to evaluate how well the omitted data are estimated by the model, okay? So when PLS SEM exhibits predictive relevance, it well predicts the data point of indicators, okay? So a Q square value larger than 0 for a certain endogenous latent variable indicates that PLS path model has predictive relevance for this construct, okay? So Q square is predictive relevance, measures whether a model has predictive relevance or not. So it's greater than 0 is good, okay? So further, Q square establishes the predictive relevance of the endogenous construct. So Q square above 0 shows that model has predictive relevance. This is the rule of thumb, okay? So this is the second part, okay? The third part, if you want to do mediating analysis, so you have to see is there mediating effect. So if remember, it can have no mediation effect, it can have partial mediation, it can have full mediation, okay? So full mediation, let's say there is no indirect effect, but you find there is a mediating effect. So you can say full mediation. Then if you find that there is a direct relationship as well as indirect significant relationship, that means there is a partial relationship. Then the third, if you don't find the direct significant relationship, but you find the mediating effect, that means there is no mediation effect. So these three ways you can see the mediation effect, whether there is a mediation effect or not, okay? Then moderating effect. Yeah. So let's say you have direct relationship, significant relationship between independent variable and dependent variable, but you want to add one more moderating variable, okay, to strengthen this relationship, okay? This is also called interaction term, okay? So you should interact with the independent variable and see the effect on dependent variable. So this way you can see or test the moderating effect, okay? Then you can have the multi-group analysis. If you want to see the differences between two groups, let's say you have two groups, lower income group and higher income groups. So in terms of environmental awareness, you want to see the difference between these two groups, who are more aware about the environmental issues, lower income group or higher income group. So you can do this multi-group analysis, okay? This could be more than 2 groups, okay? Can be, okay? Then, yeah, you can do also higher order model, second order model, third order model, okay? As I have shown on example, the what is called the type of reflective and formative model, okay? So if we have time, then we can show you, okay? Okay, so up to this point, do you have any question?
Any questions for participants?
From the audience, please feel free to ask question.
If you have difficulty to understand the below, maybe you can ask right now. I think not yet, Doctor.
Okay. So before going or before embarking our hands-on approach, I think let me share you one article. I think I have provided 2 articles to you. So can you look at? Let me open one article to show you the. Okay. Can you see my article?
Yes.
Okay. So it is published recently, okay, in journal Resources Conservation and Recycling, okay, it's one of our published articles. So we use SMART PLS, okay. So that's why I'm sharing this paper with you, that how to write a research article, okay, to show you the practical things, and it is already published. So I think you can enhance your knowledge, okay. So first, the title of the article, okay? So you can see this is our title of this article, Consumers, Environmental Ethics, Willingness, and Green Consumerism Between Lower and Higher Income Groups, okay? So let's look at the objectives of this article, okay? What is the objectives? You can find in the abstract. Okay, this study analysis, okay, you can see here. Okay, so this is the objective of this article. This study analyzes the impact of consumers, environmental ethics, green consumerism, moral obligation, green attitude, on consumers' willingness to consume green products and actual green consumption, with the mediating role of willingness to consume green products. So this is our objectives, okay? So based on these objectives, we develop, this theoretical framework, okay? Or conceptual framework or hypothesis model, okay? So we have 4 independent variables, then 1 mediating and 1 dependent variable, okay? And we have 2 groups, okay? Lower income and higher income groups, to see the differences among them in terms of willingness to consume green products, okay? So this is our model. Then the first things, let's go to the results section, okay? Look at the result section. Excuse me. So the results section, first you can see the table 1. We provided socio-demographic information of the respondents, okay? Sometimes it is needed to provide, sometimes do not need to provide the socio-demographic or profile of the respondents, okay? So it depends on you as well as as well as journal, okay? So the first things I think you know, that this is the name of variables, then frequency, you can calculate the percentage, okay? So this is the, I think everybody is familiar with this. Basically for SMART PLS, the table 2, okay? We need to calculate the indicator loadings. This is also called outer loading of the measurement model, okay? So if you look at this, this is the items and this is the loading. Okay, so what is the threshold value of loadings, indicator loadings? It must be equal 0.7 or above. Okay, it should be equal or greater than 0.70. So you can see, is there any indicator loadings is below 0.70? Yeah, you can see one. Am I right? Number 10, 0.684. So it does not meet the criteria. Am I right? The threshold value. So in this case, why we are concerned about this? Because later on, based on this loading, we will calculate average variance, extraction, as well as composite reliability. So the AB should be 0.50 and composite reliability should be equal or greater than 0.70. So let's say under this indicator construct, we have three indicators. Am I right? 1, 2, 3. No, not 3. Sorry, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we have 6 indicators, but only one indicator has less than 0.70. So it is not going to affect the AV value and composite reliability because other indicators have higher value. Okay, higher value. So average will be point above or equal 0.50. It is not gonna affect AVE. Okay, so that's why we can keep it. Okay, and there is another rule of thumb according to, okay, if you have the for explanatory research, you can also consider 0.40, 0.60. Okay, if it's not going to affect the AVE and composite reliability value. Okay, so this is the first table you have to draw for a SMART PLS. Okay, you have to draw. Okay, so this is that. And how to explain this one? Yeah, you can look at this explanation is here. Okay, the table 2, you can follow this article. Okay, why I'm sharing that some of you might have difficulty how to interpret this table. Okay, so that if you follow this article, the explanation is given, both articles, you can look. If you don't understand this one, you can look another one. Okay, so this is the way to understand the interpretation of this analysis. Okay, so first table you have to draw this on. Okay, let's go to the second table. It's third table. Okay, according to this article. Okay, so you have to see the construct reliability and validity. Okay, so how, please do not make any noise, I request you. Okay, so because it deviates my concentration. Okay, so so construct reliability and validity. Okay, so in this regard, we need to see the Cronbach alpha value. Okay, so the cutoff value or threshold value, it should be or must be greater than or equal 0.70. Then there is another on row A, also is similar with the Cronbach alpha value. It's same rule of thumb. It should be, must be equal or greater than 0.70. And most importantly, composite reliability. Okay, it should be equal or greater than 0.70. Then average variance extracted value should be above or equal 0.50. So if you look at this table, I think all of them meet the criteria. Okay, so this is the second table you have to draw if you want to use a SMART PLS. Again, how to interpret is look at the table 3, and explanation is given in this article. You may look at it. Okay, okay, then the next table you have to develop, which one? This is to see or to check discriminant validity. Okay, table 4, using Fornell-Laker criterion. Okay, So what is the rule of thumb? The diagonal values, okay? This is the diagonal values, okay? So how we calculate these diagonal values is square root of ABE value, okay? ABE, okay? If you square root, then you will find this one. So the rule of thumb, the diagonal value should be greater than off diagonal value. So this is the off diagonal, okay? This is, okay? This is the diagonal and the below is the off diagonal, okay? So off diagonal is the correlation, okay? Correlation, basically correlation among the construct, okay? So the off diagonal values should be or must be greater than off diagonal value, okay? So this is the rule of thumb. So you can see we meet that criteria, okay? Then the next table, you have to do draw.
Excuse me, Professor, I have one question.
Sure.
In the table number 3, table number 3, construct reliability and validity, you show that RHO underscore A. Well, what does it mean that? Why we will keep here? Can you explain?
Okay, it's actually the Cronbach alpha value, composite reliability, and rho A is the same thing, okay? But is developed by the different statistician, okay? Okay. So that's okay. It develops by different what is called the statistician. So most famously we use the Cronbach alpha value. So later on we come to know that the composite reliability is more reliable than Cronbach alpha. So the way they calculate the Cronbach alpha value and the SMART PLS. This is the specialty or the beauty of the SMART PLS. They come up with the rho A, okay? So mostly we do not explain this value, but we present in the table. It reflects the reliability of the construct, okay? It's the same thing, okay? It's the same thing, do not be confused, okay? Some statisticians says composite reliability is more reliable than Cronbach alpha value, and some statisticians say rho A, we do not need the Cronbach alpha value and composite reliability is okay. But some say, no, we need to provide all, okay? So this is the beautification, okay? One person might have 3 characteristics, but all characteristics represent the same person, okay? Is it clear to you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay, doctor, there's a question in the chat box from Brother Mudassir Rahman. Why we apply multi-group analysis? If our moderator is categorical, we can do moderation analysis. What is the difference between these two? Are these two the same? What is to suggest if we have categorical variables and why?
Sorry, if I am not mistaken, he or she, okay, he wants to know, can we use the categorical variable and continuous variable for mediation effect? Am I right? Question is like that? Yes.
Assalamualaikum. It was my question actually. I'm asking about a multi-group analysis because we can use multi-group analysis as for moderator as well, right? Yes. If we have a categorical variable, then we can use multi-group analysis. But there is another option of moderation. We can directly test moderation and we can check slope as well from SMART PLS. So why they add multi-group analysis? Can we use like both alternatively, or we should use when there is any specific rule of thumb that why we use moderation and when we use MGA?
Okay. So multi-group analysis, basically for a SMART PLS, we use categorical variable. Why we use categorical variable? Because we can differentiate between group. Okay, let's say education is the categorical variable. So you have primary education, you have secondary education, you have higher education, you have, let's say, postgraduate education. So this is the categorical variable. You can divide into 4 groups, okay? So another example, we can give the male and female 2 groups, okay? Another example given is the higher income and lower income. Let's say if you want to use the continuous variable, how you are going to split them, how you are going to make a group. So if you can develop a group, then you can do the moderation effect looking at the based on your group you have created. Okay, is it like that? Am I
yeah, I understand this thing, like for multi-group analysis, if we have categorical variable, we use multi-group analysis. But for categorical variable, we can use moderation as well, right?
Of course, the moderating effect is the categorical variables. Must be the categorical variables for moderation effect. As I mentioned, the example given to you is the low income and higher income is the categorical variable. As I mentioned, the education level, primary education, secondary education, higher education, postgraduate, this is a categorical variable. You can categorize into 4. Okay, then you can see the different effects of the different groups. Okay, so this is the moderation should be the categorical variable. Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, like for interaction, like if we use interaction effect, like direct moderation, but we have categorical variable.
Interaction is not the moderating. Interaction is the based on 2 things. Okay, so you can do the continuous and you can do the the multi-group analysis, and moderation effect is not the same thing. Okay, because the moderating is the interaction. Okay, so interaction can be both, can be continuous, can be moderating. Okay. Continuous and also categorical. Okay, for moderation effect. I'll show you once we'll do the hands one. I'll show you. Okay, so there is a difference. Okay, sure. Now I understand. I got it. Okay, you are talking about the multi-group analysis that should be the categorical variable. For moderation can be both. Okay, categorical as well as continuous. Okay, for moderating effect, interaction term. Okay, and also for the categorical variables, you need to follow the 2-stage approach, and for continuous variable and also the reflective model, you need to follow the product indicator. I'll show you. I'll explain at the time. Okay, when we'll do the hands-on. Sure. Okay, we are not yet there. Okay. Okay. I hope you will be with us. Okay. Okay. Any other question?
Any other questions? We can continue again. Okay. Oh, there's also in the chat box from Brother Fazlul Karim.
Yes.
We address the questions at the end of the session. Is it because presentation will help us to understand? Okay.
Sorry, come again.
Let's continue.
Sister Rini, can you come again?
Okay. No, it's just advice. I mean, if participant would like to ask, maybe it's better to ask after the speaker finish the material.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. Because I think, some of you are beginners, some of you are middle level, some of you are advanced level, okay? So please be patient because I have to focus for all of them. Yeah, maybe we might have some beginners, okay? That's why I'm going, this way. Okay, so okay, please the moderate okay, where we are okay, table 4. Okay, discriminant validity we have mentioned. Then the next table is table 5. Okay, okay, table 5 is cross loading. Yeah, you have to generate this table. Okay, so what is the rule of thumb? The all indicators value should be higher its own construct compared to other construct. Okay, so in this case, if you see the consumer's environmental ethics, so where is the value? Here. Okay, see the first 3. Okay, is the higher. Okay, so if you compare with other construct, you will find that all of them have the lower indicators value. Okay, so this is the one way to check the discriminant validity. Okay, so we will look at this cross loading. Okay, according to the studied variables. Okay, so this is the table 5 you have to generate for this SMART PLS. Okay, then next table you have to generate heteroid monotroid ratio. Okay, HTMT. Okay, so this is the correlation table actually. So you can see you have to what is the rule of thumb according to gold is 0.90, less than 0.90, and according to the clan, if I'm not mistaken, 0.85 equal or less than. Okay, so this is the criterion. Okay, hetero monotroid ratio criterion. Okay, HTMT. Please unmute. Okay, so this is the first part. The first section we have completed. Okay, then the second part. Second part is that we will test the hypothesis. Okay, hypothesis. We will test our hypothesized model. Okay, so if you look at this figure 2, okay, so this is the graphical presentation, okay, of our hypothesis model. Okay, so you can present both the diagram as well as in table from table 7. Okay, this is the path coefficient and hypothesis testing. Okay, so this is the hypothesis. Okay, how you need to develop this table? You need to, you can follow this one. Okay, this table. You don't have to follow me. If you have other option, okay, you go for, this is my suggestion. Okay, I follow this way, so you can follow me. Okay, if you want. So you can generate or develop this table based on your result. Okay, findings. Okay, so you can write here hypothesis. Okay, the first column you can write the, no, first column is number, then second column you can write the hypothesis. Okay, the direction with direction. Then you can write the coefficient or beta value. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, then standard error, and this is the t value or t statistics, and star refers to the p value. Okay, asterisk refers to p value. Okay, then you can include, this is you will not get the table is generated this way, but you have to bring the value from different places and combine and generate this table. Okay, so R square, this is R square, then F square and Q square and the decision. Yeah, if it is hypothesis is supported, okay, you can write supported, not supported, okay, and so on. So this is the second part. Okay, second part of analysis. Okay, according to our explanation. Okay, earlier. Then let's go to the third part. Okay, this third part is the mediating role of, okay, consumers' willingness to consume green products. So we have seen, we have tested the mediation effect. Okay, mediating effect. So you can look at the table 8. Okay, for the mediation effect. Okay, so you can see the mediation effect. Okay, whether there is a partial, you can look at the decision. You have to develop this table. Okay, so you can look at the decision, partial mediation, no mediation, partial mediation. Okay, is based on your results. So this is the, if you want to do the mediation, so you can follow this table. Okay, then we have done the multi-group analysis between two groups. Okay, group the lower income and higher income. Okay, so what is the table 9? It's below. Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, it's table 9 here. Okay, so you can see the result, how you need to present. Okay, then also you can look at the multi-group analysis, table 10. Okay, so this is the way you can present. Okay, so basically I have introduced how to write a research article using a SMART PLS. Okay, so this is one of the published paper. You don't have to follow my paper. There are a lot of papers already published using a SMART PLS, so you may read for one of them. Okay, first try to duplicate. Okay, it's duplication, but you are not going to publish it. Okay, just to learn. Okay, the process, how to do it. Okay, how to generate the table, what are the components should be included in the table. Okay, and how to interpret it. You can go through the articles. Okay, several articles. Maybe one article is not enough for you to understand the interpretation. So you can look at the another articles. Okay, if another article is not, go to the next one. Okay, so this is the way to develop yourself. Okay, so everybody knows how to click, and software will give some kind of result. Okay, but you have to know the theory behind it. Okay, so up to this point, do you have any question after this? Before embarking on hands-on, if you have any question, please ask me question. But before that, maybe I want to have some break. What do you think, Sister Rini? Are you there?
There's one question from Brother Muhammad Imtiaz.
Yes.
In the chat box. If one framework consists of both individual levels data, employees or attitudes, and firm level data from environmental performance, in that case, which type of analysis is suggested, and this mixture of different units of analysis? whether there is a problem with a particular problem.
Sorry, let me check. Can I see the write-up?
Yeah, in the chat box. Or maybe Brother Imtiaz, are you there?
Yeah, Assalamualaikum.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. I think if one framework consists of both individual level data, employee attitude, and firm level data, in that case, which type of analysis is suggested? Oh, that you refer to the mixed formative and as well as reflective model. Am I right?
Actually, sir, when we prepare the questionnaire, that time maybe some IB or DV have a mixture of the unit of analysis. Maybe my IB is employee attitude or employee behavior, but my outcome variable can be the environmental performance of the firm. So in that case, both are the mixture of the unit of analysis, right? Like individual level data.
Yeah,
and
but the way how you design your questionnaire, is it continuous variable or categorical variable? How do you design?
Maybe we can
mix up. Let's say if it is mixed up, let's say the continuous as well as the categorical variable. Okay, so you have to use the REP software, not the SMART PLS. But if you have the continuous variable, let's say your items is in Likert scale, okay, yeah, then you can end. But if you have the formative and reflective, yeah, you can use SMART PLS, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay, we will use the same Likert scale, like 5-letter scale, maybe for the both.
So, yeah, you can use the SMART PLS, but maybe I think you have both the farm level, if it is considered as a formative, and another one is the reflective. Yeah, can be used both. Okay, as I have shown. Yeah, you can use both.
So in that case, we have to mention anything, any statistical multi-group analysis, anything we need to mention, or just
no. That is the different case. Actually, I'm talking about the initial model. It can be consist of formative and reflective model. Then later on, if you want to see the multi-group analysis or moderating or mediation, okay, you can. There is nothing special. If you use this software, is the same process. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, clear. Anyone else want to ask before we? After this, we're going to continue on the hands-on.
Yes. So let me have some break.
If anyone still confused on the theories, maybe you can ask right now before we start on the hands-on PLS. No questions? Okay, so please prepare with your software.
Okay, I hope everybody has software and data set. Okay, so 3 things you keep ready is the data you can import into this, what is called the SMART PLS software. Then open on an Excel sheet, open on one Microsoft the work page. Okay, so the 3 things. Okay, you can work on it. Okay, so it is 11 a.m. So will you start 11:20? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So let me stop sharing. How to stop? Okay, stop share.